The 2050 Learner by Chelsea Whitehead. In the future, unprecedented changes and rapid technological growth will reshape and redesign learning. Learners will have the ability to build connections and remain in constant contact with others, regardless of time and place. Information will become increasingly accessible for learners in the future. New tools will make it easier for learners to collect, store, and share data in a variety of forms. At the same time, the 2050 learner will be subject to external pressures such as climate change, pollution, and widespread urbanization. Learning will look very different in the future as a result of these significant changes. Communities will become the classroom, and learning will become a lifestyle. Learning will begin to break out of the box. Some brick-and-mortar schools may still exist, but learning will increasingly take place outside the traditional classroom. Existing boundaries between the learner's home, school, and work will begin to merge by 2050. Learning will increasingly occur via virtual communities accessed from the learner's home and larger network, allowing them to access valuable information without the restrictions of time and location. Museums, community markets, hospitals, and other institutions will also work together to form a complex network or learning ecosystem, reinventing the idea of school and the ways in which students learn. Learning practices will also become more open and flexible, allowing learners to effectively interact and collaborate in face-to-face meetings both locally and globally. New technologies will facilitate these networks, and future learners will be able to connect with other students from around the world. Future learners will be preparing for jobs that do not yet exist. Conventional skills such as math and literacy will continue to be important. However, widespread changes and an evolving workplace will demand that learners acquire new skills. Future employers will seek learners with a more sophisticated array of capabilities as the world becomes more complex and competitive markets increase. Desirable core skills for the 2050 learner include leadership, collaboration, and creativity skills. Communication, innovation, motivation, and teamwork skills will also be important for learners to develop as they aim to gain employment in the year 2050. The traditional top-down approach to classroom learning will be replaced by multifaceted digital communities designed to meet the individual needs and interests of the learner. Future learners will become more empowered by 2050, switching from passive to active consumers of information in charge of advancing their own skills and generating their own knowledge. The power will shift from individual teachers, and with support, learners will begin to learn independently. The development of comprehensive, tailored learning networks will further support learners in an ever-changing society by facilitating the continued growth and development of new skills across their lifetime. By 2050, teachers will take on new roles as mentors and guides, helping future learners develop complex learning networks. Instead of teaching in a traditional classroom, educators and other professionals will become learning agents. These skilled professionals will form a team of personal education advisors, learning fitness instructors, and educators to help facilitate personalized learning experiences for future learners. Together, these agents will help future learners create enriched personal learning networks based on their own needs and interests. Learners in 2050 will have unparalleled access to the people, tools, and resources they require when and where necessary through the advancement of mobile technologies. For example, advanced video conferencing systems will provide users with a virtual presence on their mobile device, presenting learners an immediate and effective means by which to communicate and collaborate. Mobile technologies will also permit learners to virtually explore and connect with nature, a noted motivational factor and key competency for future learners. By 2050, technology will allow learners to experience the real world through a virtual lens. Mobile technologies will transform real-world items and learning experiences into customized interactive events by allowing learners to access immediate information via smart objects as they explore. Future learners will also experience an increase in more play-based learning activities, including augmented reality games, in an effort to promote and nurture creativity, imagination, and teamwork skills. Simulation tools will further support the growth and development of desirable social and cognitive skills in students through virtual worlds focused on solving real issues. In the future, students will be learning in an increasingly digital and fluid world with superior tools. It is possible, for example, that the learner's glasses will become the very interface from which they seek to gather information. However, despite increased access to information, community will still be needed to ensure that the level of access is equitable for all learners. There is also concern that geography may negatively impact the learner's access to information and digital technologies by 2050 due to existing inequalities in capital and infrastructure. Future learners, parents, and professionals must be resourceful in order to respond to such challenges. Future learning practices will need to be adjusted to help future learners confront the ecological, economical, and humanitarian challenges brought on by rapid technological growth and expansion by the year 2050.